here we have like Odesu like kind of originally starting off like kind of being like just basically without any kind of purpose, and then meanwhile he's kind of driven to this purpose, and then like kind of of course after the big reveal, it's like kind of that then he's like if anything he would just rather not have ever achieved a purpose and not have ever like
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, you're right. That's one sort of journey. He has a very sort of aimless, purposeless life, actually, and that's kind of portrayed really quite well as him as a high school kid. And then he attains this great purpose, and then it's a very tragic purpose by the end of it. But yeah, you're right. It's a very interesting sort of arc his character takes. Yeah.
So, what do you feel like kind of with the remake that like you've talked a lot of things that kind of like flawed about and stuff. But what's something that like you feel like kind of that could have been I don't know, like where it made it more redeeming, or like kind of that would have been like kind of more of a point to it, like kind of I think that's one of the things that we talk about from time to time is that like other than like kind of just retelling the story, there should be something else more to it, like because we talked before about like how Westworld has these kind of twists and stuff and these statements on technology and stuff. So here, like we have a story, right, that like the basic revenge story is the same, but then like and they kind of like they move things in the timeline forward to where like kind of instead of 15 years is 20 years, so we do see like more updated history and stuff like that. But other than that, like kind of what could have they have done that like again would have made it more of a point, I guess, to making remaking this?
Well, I can tell you what I would have liked to have seen.
Okay.
I would have liked I would have liked to have seen more subtlety and more nuance and more existential sort of consideration to the characters, which I felt like all of those 3 points from the original were beaten to death with a hammer summarily, just like Josh Brolin does through most of the movie. But yeah, that's. I mean, I think there's some really sort of existential, interesting themes in the original one that just seemed to get lost. And it was, it was almost like Spike Lee decided, or somebody in the studio decided, okay, we're going to kind of make this like a Quentin Tarantino pulp kind of movie, but really kind of do that well either. It didn't have the kind of flair of Robert Rodriguez or someone like that. So yeah, I would have either liked to have seen it be more thoughtful and maybe more psychedelic like the original, or more kind of extreme and more like a Tarantino or sort of Robert Rodriguez movie, but just generally better.
Yeah, it's interesting how like some of the choices of things that like kind of that they did as like kind of Easter eggs from the original was like kind of like rather than eating the octopus, it was like in the tank, right? And I think that in a way says it all, like